Hey everyone, so just getting settled into Texas, finally going through some tackle, some new stuff that I want to show you. Today we're going to talk about the new Crush City line of plastics from Rapala. So Rapala, Rapala, whatever you want to call it. They've dabbled in plastics before. Back in the day they had Trigger X, was a company that I remember. But this year they made a big splash at ICAST with a new brand called Crush City. So I'm going to show you all these different baits. And they were all designed with the help of Jacob Wheeler, which if you follow bass fishing at all, you know who he is. So he had a lot of input on the design. And there's several new products here. They're going to be released this fall. I happen to get some at ICAST. I'm going to kind of run through them real quick, and then we'll take a deeper dive into each one. We got the Bronco Bug, which is a creature bait. Did get a lot of hate on this one because it looks very similar to the OSP Do Live Beaver. It is what it is, I guess. We also got the Mayor, the swim bait. You can tell I've used a couple of these, so I have a little bit more insight on this one than the others. There's two sizes. Swim bait looks very much like the Storm Largo Shad, which Wheeler loves. He's won some tournaments with it. Very, very similar. Got the Freeloader. This is another one that really made a big splash, and Wheeler, again, won a big tournament on it on Lake Gunnersville. He was fishing it, casting out on a jig head. Even though this bait was designed as a chatterbait trailer, you know, kind of like a spunk shad, you know, he was fishing on a jig head. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. We also got the Ned BLT. So it is a Ned rig bait, drop shot fit. You could do a lot of different things with this bait. And then we got the cleanup crawl. So overall, I mean, they're pretty cool. You know, I haven't fished all of them yet. I haven't even opened some of these packages. So we're gonna take a deeper dive into what these baits are all about. We'll look at some of the features, things I like, and then the ones that I have fished, I'll kind of tell you my experiences with them. So we'll start right here. This is the cleanup crawl. So let's open it up. So one thing about these, they all have, you know, that nice clamshell packaging, so your baits are going to stay nice and straight. You know, that makes a big difference when, you know, baits get kinked up. You know, you could keep them like this in this package, or you can put them in your tackle, you know, your hard tackle boxes. You know, they are more susceptible to getting kinked and stuff like that, but if you keep them in this package, they're going to stay straight and ready to go. So let's take a look at the old cleanup crawl. This one, this color is just black and blue. It's a 3.5 inch bait. So it looks like a great jig trailer. You could see, I mean, you could Texas rig this thing. Those claws were put together. You could keep them like that or pull them apart like I just did. It's got those flanges just like, you know, the rage crawls and all that stuff. So it's really going to kick. You know, the bait's relatively soft, not too bad, but I see this as a great jig trailer right away. And then again, you could pitch it around, do a lot of different things with it. Okay, the Ned BLT. So this one is, the color is green pumpkin and blue. So again, it's going to come in that nice package, so they're nice and straight. Pull them out. This is a little guy. It's a 3-inch bait. Now, the cool thing about this is it has the stretchy plastic, you know, similar to the Z-Man stuff, so they're going to be more durable. I'm guessing it's going to be the same material where it's going to float up, stand up on a jig head, stand up on your drop shot, a lot more buoyancy to give those fish a little bit different look. So that's the Ned BLT. Yeah, so I like it. It's got some ribs on it. Yeah, it's a little bit different than a, you know, a Z-Man TRD. It's a little bit thinner. So yeah, I like that bait. Okay, let's jump over to the Mayor. And like I said, I have fished these smaller ones. And it's a swim bait you can do a lot of different things with, you know, on a jig head, on the back of a swim jig, I mean, a rig, whatever you want to do. One thing I noticed fishing this, it has a nice tight kick. I would say a little bit different look than the Kitex that we all throw. You know, it's got a different profile. You know, it's just a different look. I mean, so everyone's throwing Kitex. You know, this is like the 3.3. It's actually a 3-inch, straight 3-inch. So a little bit different look, a little bit different tail. Cool little swim bait. So there's a smaller size, and then we got the bigger one, the 4-inch Mayor. I have not fished this one, but I'm guessing it's going to be kind of the same profile, same action, and just a bigger package, maybe a little bit more tail kick just because it's bigger, a little bit wider kick. But yeah, I like that. It's also got a you know, slot for your hook, so you could fish it on a Texas rig or a weighted hook or a, you know, a flashy swimmer, one of those types of jig heads. Next one, Bronco Bug. This is the one that everyone was man, they were tearing them up on Instagram just because I looked up that OSP bait. I mean, it looks just like it, so heavily inspired by that bait. But it's cool because it has these heavy claws, I guess you could say, these appendages. You know, they're really dense too. So I've seen some of the videos and you could see the action on that. It just has a crazy action as it's falling, you know, just because these things are so heavy. I don't know how durable that's going to be. I'm sure they've thought about that, but it looks like a pretty thin section dividing the two right there. But yeah, it looks like a cool little crawdad. So again, you could fish this one on a Texas rig, a free rig, on the back of a jig. I mean, you could do a lot of different things with this little guy. Okay, we'll jump over to the freeloader, and I'll kind of tell you a cool story on this. So I was actually at that tournament working for MLF when Wheeler won. I was actually one of the photo guys. Happened to be upon Wheeler, and he was demolishing them with this bait right here. You can see some of these pictures I'll show you here, but the funny thing about this was it was Guntersville in May. Everybody was fishing the same community holes. You know, so we would film certain guys, and then Wheeler would come up to the exact same spot at a different time or right after someone left and start catching them immediately with this bait. So obviously I was very interested in this bait from the beginning. Like I said earlier, you could fish it as a chatterbait trailer, which is what it was designed for, but he was actually fishing it in this particular situation on a jig head, casting it out on its forward-facing sonar and shaking it through the water column depending on where the fish were. So very versatile bait. I did throw this the other day. It does what it's supposed to do. It's got a nice tail kick. You know, and I'm really excited to try it on the back of a chatterbait now because, again, that's what they designed it for. But there's a lot of things you can do with this little guy. And this is the freeloader. This is kind of a cool color, too. It is the Gizzard Shad. I mean, really creative name there. But, yeah, it's good-looking color. I like the design, really, for all these baits. You know, they're going to be out very soon. I think they did well with their first introduction to soft plastics in a while. So check them out. I mean, these are all the Crush City plastics. You know, they're going to do what you need to do. So thanks for watching. I'm going to go fish some of these tomorrow.